Sorry, we jumped out again. My bad. I promise this doesn't happen every time I do an episode. I'm not tech savvy.
It's okay.
I do my best. Anyway.
I'm not tech savvy and things break around me, so it's okay.
I just I don't know. I think I need an assistant sometimes. Just somebody to do the computer stuff for me. Just let me sit and talk and I don't want to do this.
I need them too.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Any last words? I am your host, Joe. And tonight, my guest is Hollywood medium and psychic Patti. I don't want to butcher your last name because I probably
Negri.
will. How do you
Negri.
Negri. Okay, well, I wouldn't have done that then.
No, it's funny. And my whole life, I've had this name my whole life. And you want to explain it because nobody knows what to say with it, Negri. And I want to say rhymes with nothing. Rhymes with nothing. I've like my whole life. And for a while I was able to say Begley because Ed Begley was an actor and now he's an activist. But younger people don't know who Ed Begley is. So it rhymes with somebody Begley and that means nothing to them.
Names are the worst sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't get the little placards or anything with your name on them. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, we got some viewers already. Thank you guys for joining. We got Fabrizio, Jesse, Guti, and some other people who haven't quite checked in to say hello yet. But thank you guys for joining us. My guest tonight, I'm so very excited to have you on. Thank you so much again for coming on. I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. I really don't, because there's so much I can talk to you about right now.
Start anywhere. Start here. Start there.
I know. You know what? Let's. You have a book that you wanted to.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a book. Right here, Old World Magic for the Modern World. It's tips, tricks, and techniques to empower and create a life you love. In my life of doing this, my psychicness, my mediumness, my witchiness, I see how much working with people every day, whether I'm one-on-one sessions or whether I'm on Ghost Adventures walking, whatever, people give away their power all the time. We silly humans. So this is about just grabbing your power back. We are powerful beings. We are amazing beings when we don't give our power away to other people, to limiting belief systems, to fear. So that's what you're about, fear and horror. It's great. Embrace it. So yeah, it's great. It's super simple. I honestly spent more time unwriting it than writing it. I wrote it because I got tired of saying the same things. And in my gift, I actually see energy and I see how much stress you are and how this, and I work elementally. I'm an elemental witch. So it's like, yeah, it's great to meditate for an hour, but I have 30 seconds to pull it together to stop the chatter in my head or get rid of the anger or the fear or the emotion. So I come up with all these 30-second exercises that cost nothing or spells. So, so I spent more time unwriting it than writing it, but there's everything, how to clear your house, how to talk to dead people, love spells, weight and health spells, and talk about ghost adventures. So yeah, if anybody wants it, ebook, audiobook, print book on Amazon or on my website. And,
that's awesome.
I've been lucky. Yeah, it's been a bestseller in 5 countries. It's just because I made it really simple because I know none of us can concentrate for very long.
That is for sure, especially with the technology's gotten us have really short attention spans. But if you guys are interested, not just for her book, but just to check out Patti, just and see what she's doing, where she's been, what she's gonna have going on. Yeah. All of the links are in the description below for her IMBD, her Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All of her links are there, so you guys check it out when you get a second. And Patti's really fucking cool. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. You're really fucking cool.
Thank you. I'm okay. I've been around a long time. Oh, that's my doll Belle. That's my haunted doll Belle. She wanted to come. She's 105.
Sorry, my monitor's down here, so I have to look at you down
here. It's okay. She's 105. She was given to me by you'll see her move. You'll see her. People will see her expression change. Her eyes move. She was given to me a few years ago now by a girl in Belgium. This doll had made her sick for 3 years, made her daughter sick for 3 years. And she saw me on Ghost Adventures, or actually Deadly Possessions, doing a seance with a scarier doll, Peggy the doll, who's now in Zach's Museum, who give people heart attacks. And she figured if I could handle Peggy, I could handle Belle. So she sent me Belle across the pond. Belle was so powerful. just opening her, and I'd never done one. I go, I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I'm going to do a live. I'd never done a Facebook Live just to open the box. That's crazy doll. 50,000 people watched me open the box. I don't get those kind of views. I don't get anywhere. I don't get zeros beyond those kind of views. It was the doll, but she had a really dark spirit, and I didn't want to lose all my hair like the girl who sent her to me. So I don't have enough as it is. So I got the bad spirit out, and then this really good spirit came out, but she's haunted. She's good.
Oh my gosh. Is there like, what's the craziest thing she's done before or after she went from bad to good?
Well, I did not, again, the bad thing, the crazy thing was 50,000 views. Again, if you look at my stuff, I don't have those kind of numbers. Now she runs around at, like, I have a 2-story house. If we're downstairs, my husband and I are downstairs, we'll hear running upstairs. It's like, well, the cat's with us. The dog's dead. It's like, it's Belle. She moves around. I had a girlfriend do a photo shoot at my house. I have this real pretty little area with skulls and thing. And a friend of mine was doing a photo shoot. So she was posing and nobody touched. Belle was like this, back in the back, but in her little rocking chair. We look at the pictures. Belle's in a different pose in every picture, and nobody touched her. She's like, it's a photo shoot. It's mine. She's a ham. I don't know where she gets it. So now she's been on camera a lot, and she's staring at you, by the way. She's far away, but she's a hammy little ghost. Yeah.
Yeah. We got some comments. Fabrizio, he's a viewer that comes from Mexico. He says that, Patti, I'm from Mexico, where mediums and all stuff is extremely important and a cultural thing. We have the Fampas Mal de Ojo. Something about a bad eye. I don't know.
Like evil eye, bad eye, whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I use those evil eyes for protection because, of part Turkish heritage, and you could buy them in Greek stores, Turkish stores, all the little eyes, the protective eyes, and it's to fight the evil eye.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've seen them before, like on little necklaces and stuff, but I didn't know what
protective.
they were.
Yeah, they're super protective.
That's cool. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess my first question. Yeah. I guess my first kind of like official question for you would be, when did this all start for you? Like the medium and the psychic and the getting the energies and everything.
I was born this way. I thought everybody was, honestly. Early as I can remember, I'd be 3 or 4 years old, and I'd be playing in my house with my friends. I just knew that the supposed imaginary friends weren't imaginary. They gave me real information, real stuff. I would find myself, even on the wishy side, in my little suburban backyard, my suburban Long Beach backyard, knowing if I picked rosemary and mint off my mom's plants and stuck them in her wallet, it would give her more money. She didn't understand that, but I did. I just knew it. And that's the attributes that are in these plants. So it's just in the blood. It's born in me. And I've always also been very obsessed with death, with the other side, but not in a morbid way. I talk to dead people. So I literally did my first seance. I was 7 or 8. It's probably 7.5. I just have to start saying, I was, again, my little suburban hallway. They're in the hall where there's no windows. I stuffed towels under the doors. Realized I didn't know dead people. I'm like, well, Marilyn Monroe, John Kennedy, any dead person a 7 or 8-year-old knew. And my lightless, windowless room filled with orbs and lights and shadows flying through this room looked like a disco. And of course, me and my best friend Sherry Jones running out of the room, but inside I was jumping up and down, going, "This is real, and this is controllable, and this is awesome." So then I spent my whole life studying religion, philosophy, occult science, regular science, metaphysics, everything to put it down to me what. The through line and everything is energy, and that's what I see. So it kind of, to me, doesn't matter what template you put on top, belief system, philosophy. If you take it down to the energy, they're all kind of the same, just the words are different.
Okay. Wow. I was picturing that in my head of what it was that you described seeing, and that sounds like that is just an amazing experience.
Yeah. And again, I believe everybody's born with. I totally do, and I do believe we can develop it. more is just like going to the gym, you work out, do whatever. And, but it just gets taught out of us in our modern society, especially our Western society. We got rid of mysticism. We got rid of magic. Even our religion isn't very magical or mystical. It's just like, this is this, and this is your imagination, little kid. And that's your and we need it back, and we're going to get it back. I think as we stepping into this new age of Aquarius, they sang about in the 60s, which we've now stepped into, it's going to be very different. It's going to be more creative, more artsy, more magical, because it's not going to be so earth-based. It's not going to be like our parents and grandparents' world of black and white and right and wrong and yes and no. It's going to get airy, so it's going to be cool.
I hope so, because this place kind of sucks.
It's been a rough year, so we had to get hit over the head, I guess. We were asleep.
That's for sure. Oh, I have a question for you.
Sure.
This one is from Ross. Hey, Ross. Thanks for joining. His question is, Patti, have you ever made a reading that shook you and could not continue? That's a good question.
No. When I've stopped readings, it's only because if I could tell that they're really rebellious and not hearing anything, if they're just like, no. Well, you have a little bit of perhaps a block here that happened when you were, no. Okay, maybe this isn't working. You're not going to pay for this. I don't want anybody, I don't want them to spend their money if they're not going to hear. But the things that have made me shook are not readings. That's the ghosty stuff. That's somebody bursting into flames at Marilyn Manson's house. That's being thrown into a chair and breaking ribs by the Black Dahlia killer. That makes you shake. But readings.
Wait. What happened? What? Go back again. What happened?
I've only had one spontaneous combustion. I guess.
Shit.
Yeah, wild. It's right in my neighborhood. I live in the Hollywood Hills. I live in an old 1920s, 30s neighborhood in the Hollywood Hills. It's little working bungalows that the writers like Frank Capra wrote in, and then the movie star houses. This one star right around the corner from me, it looks like a haunted house. It was built in the 1920s by Charlie Chaplin. He built a lot of houses for one of his many girlfriends, Mary Astor, who was a silent film star, a movie star of the day. And it's 4-level house, stained glass. It looks like it was built by a mason or something, all this sacred geometry. So it was a crazy, crazy ass party house from the beginning. Just party, 20s, 30s, 40s. Then the Rolling Stones manager bought it in the 60s. So the Rolling Stones lived there, mamas and papas, Graham Parsons, whoever lived there. And then they moved out. And then the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in. And then he moved out. And then Marilyn moved in. Marilyn Manson moved in. He was my neighbor for 7 years. And so the house itself attracts creative, super creative, chaotic, some dark, some not people, but it started taking on this like life of its own. So everybody in the neighborhood knew it was haunted. So the people who were living there were doing a film on it. They were filmmakers, called the Mary Astor House, I think. So I was doing a seance. I was brought in to do a seance. And so we were sitting around the table, and I talked to the ghosts first and everything. No demons. Demons get way too much credit. But it's like, it's not a demon. It's just a cranky ghost. But anyway, so we were very young people around the table. When you have people that are like around 20 years old, they have so much life force. That's when paranormal stuff's going to happen. Weird stuff's going to happen. After post-puberty, before you really get into being a grown-up, it's wild. So I had a table full of these people, and I kind of explained, be skeptic, that's okay, but you got to be respectful, because that's when you get into trouble. Maybe I didn't explain good enough, and we had 4 cameras going. That's a lot of cameras for a shoot. And this one kid, maybe because he was being filmed, maybe because he was just a smart aleck, he started getting real smart. He's like, saying stupid stuff. We're getting this really great information, and he'd say stupid stuff. I'm trying to keep him cool, but I didn't say too much. And then the ghost was getting really mad. And then he'd say something, and the French doors flew open. Everybody's screaming, and we look, wow. And the producer side of me is going, wow, that's cool. That's like special effects. So I'd never fake anything. I would never. But it's like, wow, that was on cue. And everybody kind of screamed when they closed the doors. And and it's building. I'm feeling this energy building and building. And then it happened again. The front doors flew up and everybody's screaming. It's like, okay, close the doors. I'm trying to hold down the fort of the energy of the thing. And then he said something else. And these speakers on the floor, like old school, used to have your music speakers on the floor, started going, with this crazy white noise. And everybody screaming. It came on, and they weren't even plugged in. We didn't even look at it until later. But again, exclamation point. This kid was an idiot. But I'm trying to keep it together. And we're working a Ouija board, which I do. And we're getting some heavy duty information of stuff that happened in the basement in the 30s, I think. In the dirt basement. It's always the dirt basement. In the dirt basement, that's when Marilyn loved recording there. He moved out because it got too scary. But anyway, so we were getting some information. He said something really stupid again. All of a sudden, the cameraman facing him burst into flames. Like a V up his back, like angel wings of fire. Everybody's screaming. He's like, 2 cameras caught it. No fire, but not in front of him. 2 cameras caught it. 1 camera like hit the ceiling or hit the floor. His camera, he's pointing the opposite. He's like, why is everybody screaming at me? As no, his back is on fire. So cool medium witch Patti becomes medic Patti, which I am. I'm an EMT too. It's like, drop and roll. I'm screaming like, we are done. I don't care. I'm going to drop it. Get this. I'm shutting it down. I'm bringing in my wards and guardians. Shut it down. And then I'm like, we're done. I'm sorry. But the cameraman, instead of being freaked out, he was a super skeptic. He didn't believe in this stuff. He's like, no, he was like, he's a believer. He's like, I'm okay. I have a sweater. The shirt burnt off him like poof, like it was a polyester or something. It was cotton. It should not have went poof, but it did. And I'm watching this blistering on his back. I'm like, oh God. He goes, no, I'm okay. Really, I have a sweater. He put the sweater on. The kid who was being a smart aleck got really, really well behaved. He became a choir boy. He didn't say another word. He's like, okay, he's not a problem. When somebody bursts, and I talked to the ghost over and over. I'm like, we're not even going to get rid of you. We just want. So we finished it. We had a few other crazy things happen. They tried to push Laurent off a cliff. Glass flew out of better than most special effects from at least 10 feet away. I watched a glass fly out of a cupboard. No, not on camera. This was after the camera. Because I told him I wouldn't shut it down. It's like, oh my God, that's the most I'd ever seen. But the coolest part of that is 3 weeks later, in Laurent, he's a French, beautiful filmmaker. He goes, Patti, look at my back. And he showed me where on the small of his back and it looked like he had got a tattoo of a dragon. It had the open mouth, the sharp teeth, the winged head into the shape of a serpent. And that's the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I work dragon energy. It's crossroads magic. It's positive magic. It's good magic. It's powerful magic. I mean, there's not anywhere I go that I don't have dragons with me. I'm like, so he got the mark of the dragon that actually came in to protect him. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is so friggin' cool. And he thought it was cool too. He hasn't done it yet, but he wrote a script. He wrote a horror script with Stephen Norrington. You're a film person. The guy who wrote the Blade series, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And they wrote a script about a Hollywood psychic, a Hollywood medium, does all the reality shows, basically about me, and doing yet another reality show. And then, portal to hell opens. And then it turns into a big old horror film. I hope they do it. But I sat down with him for 5 hours with the script. I go, oh, Laurent, you can't say that. He goes, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That opens a portal. You can't say that. Let's give it something that means nothing, because you don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? Because that's what happens. The Exorcist, I mean, all those real horror films that got cursed. Spirits, ghosts, entities, whatever, demons don't know the difference of this is a TV show, this is a movie, this is real. So that's when it's so easy to not let a horror film get really cursed, but it's so easy for it to too. So if they ever do it, it won't be one of those, because I took all those words out, all those chants out.
Well, to be fair, I mean, those movies that were like haunted, they did really well.
I know they did really well. You just don't want to be one of the actors that died or got beheaded.
No, that's very true. No,
no, they did do really well, but they can be. But that. So again, So that makes you shake.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. It does. It sounds just like a movie. That
I
is so
know
crazy.
it
But I
sounds just
believe
like a
it.
movie. Well, movies are made to reflect life, and life
Yeah.
sometimes reflects movies. It's the same.
Yeah. And I believe it. I've seen some crap before. Not crap, it's not crap. I've seen some weird stuff before that, yeah. So I
It's a
believe
big,
that it would
amazing
happen.
world out there. And nobody has to believe, and it's fine if somebody doesn't believe. And there's nothing you could do to make somebody believe who doesn't want to believe. You could have the burning bush of God. You could have somebody levitating 12 feet high with their head spinning around, and a skeptic's going to come up with a reason that it isn't. And that's okay. I don't try to convince anybody of anything. I know it's real because I've experienced my entire life, but you don't have to believe.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you're the one out there
Yeah.
doing it, not them, so they don't gotta worry about
Right.
it. Oh, we've got lots more comments
Okay.
and stuff in here. Christopher says, I wish everybody was born that way. Yeah, that would be nice. We're gonna have to work so hard, I'm sure, to get there. Dexter says, good evening, Joe and Patty. Most of the scripts I've written, like Mistress of Sleep, explore the paranormal and metaphysical. Joe, you should share Mistress of Sleep with Patty. She would appreciate the story like that. Yeah, Dexter, he's a really good writer and filmmaker. He's Mistress of Sleep is about like a hypnotist and witches, and I think there's a fortune teller in there. But it's a really good story. If he doesn't mind, maybe if you'd like, I'll pass it along. So
I would love that. Please, I would love. I do. I grew up, even being this weird, whatever I am. I grew up watching scary TV shows, scary movies. I couldn't handle the family ones, but I'm like the most positive, light, whatever in reality. But yeah, I like horror films. Please, I would love to see.
Okay, awesome. I'll probably send it to you in the morning because I'll have to search for it tonight.
Yeah, no hurry.
Since I've read it, but I still have it. I promise. Christopher also says, oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me go back up. Mark says, and I'll put it on the screen so it'll help a little bit. Patty, why do you think some people are prone to focus on earth-based frameworks? For instance, psychology, neuroscience, attributing behavior to biochemical reactions and human psyche.
Well, why are they earth-based? Because we're sitting on the earth. That's why I choose earth-based philosophy. I study different things, and if I'm working with people, people understand we are on this big living block with gravity and all that stuff. So if I'm working with somebody to help them, doesn't have to be spiritual, metaphysical, or religious or anything, but people understand, and there's power in each of these things. People understand. I work elementally, like Native Americans, like pagans that I am, like shamans. Air, fire, water, earth. Earth is your grounding. It's who you are. It's that strength of a tree with roots deep into the earth and branches that could reach for the sky. It's the strength of a rock and the earth and the thing and whatever. We understand that in people. That's their persona, who they are. We understand fire. That's passion, creativity, love, sex, God, art, the thing that keeps you going. We understand the water. It's our emotions. It's almost 60% of our body, almost 70% of our planet. It's the flow. It's a tear going down. We understand water and emotions. Air. It's our thought pattern. It's our focus. It's our clarity. It's our sense of organization. If we put our whole body, getting into psychology and neuroscience, I do it in 30 seconds. I mean, it's not all neuroscience. I do not claim to be a neuroscientist, but I mean, you could shift these things, and elements are so easy and elemental earth-based to do it, because you don't have to say, well, do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in Moses? Do you believe in Allah? Do you believe in the Green Man? Do you have people understand earth because we're living on it? So that's what I think it is. And again, that's how early man started. And early man was so much more awake than us, because we did numb out. Again, that's part of what I think this pandemic is. We became asleep at the wheel, phoned in, automatic pilot. But early man followed moon cycles, knew even all early religions, the pagan religions, are based on seasons, and fall we do this and summer we do that. It's natural, and it's the rock we're sitting on. So it doesn't have to be religious. It could just be the science and the magnetics and geographics within the earth. I think that's why. Because again, it's gonna be the great uniter for people over religion, biochemical reactions. We are biochemical reactions. Earth is a biochemical.
Yeah.
The volcano exploding.
Yeah,
That's my best
absolutely.
answer. I hope that's good.
I'll take it. It
I
sounds
put
better
right
than what
there.
I could have said.
Ah.
Thank you, Mark, for that. And then Christopher also continues, and this is kind of funny. If doors flew open and something burst into flames, I would have been there in like 0.0001 seconds. I would have too.
It was
Not
cool.
to go like.
Again, I probably may not ever experience anything like, and I've been to some really heavy, really, like we were talking about before this, it just did the Cecil Hotel, and holy, you walk in and that place just vibrates with darkness and holy moly, whether the serial killers were drawn to it and wanted to be there, it made serial killers, people jumping out windows, you feel it the second you get in.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, because there was a lot of people who, there was a lot of prostitutes, a lot of drug addicts that were there, pimps. I'm sure there was not so well-known people that, might have killed in there and raped in there and done all kinds of horrific, nefarious things that would have maybe created more dark energy.
Tons of people. And talking to somebody who works there still, besides all of that we hear about, if they jump out the front windows, we hear about it because they land on people, and there's tons of people have jumped out the back windows.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Again, I walked in, I go back to tell the story. I didn't know where I was going. Zach always does that to me for Ghost Adventures. Anybody doesn't know, because I don't get to know the story. He wants to test. He doesn't want to test my mediumship ability. He wants me to prove whatever they're experiencing. So he had told me 2 weeks before, I'm going to be going to LA and we're going to call you. Okay. 2 hours before, he said, come downtown. Here's the address. Nothing about it. And I get downtown LA, like Skid Row, and it's like Cecil Hotel. Oh, this is the place with the girl in the water tower. Oh yeah, I don't know what else happened here. I don't sort of remember that. And then a rat wouldn't let me in. Literally, a rat wouldn't let me. I go right, the rat went right. I went left, the rat went left. Okay, possessed rat. This is good. This is good. And I walk in the door, and it starts just coming in on me, coming on this energy. It's a vibration. It was a heartbeat coming in on me. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm going to get possessed before I even get 10 steps in. And that's when Zach walks up to me, he goes, and the crew is all there. They all had their cameras there. And he goes, okay, Patti, there's 700 rooms. There's 14 floors. You have to tell us where to go. Here's the elevator. Oh, that's that Alyssa Lamb elevator. Yeah, that's the girl in the water tower. Okay, floor, whatever. I don't know. I'm in transit. So I took it, and you get out in the hall, and it's just like, it's like drum beats of whatever. And I'm like, oh, this room. I walked in that room. And that's where, again, it's out now. So I could talk about it now. I could, I walked into a room, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I walked to a window, not thinking anything big of it. I'm kind of I open the window. Zach Bagan's just screaming at me. He's like, what are you doing, Patti? Sit down. I'm like, well, I just need to get out. I need some air. I got to get out of here. And he's like, close the window, sit down. I'm like, why? And then I close the window, sit down. They're showing ghosts on the SLS camera. I had no idea. I had led them to a room that somebody had jumped out that exact window. And I guess he was afraid I was going to do the same thing. Maybe I was, I don't know. It was very dream state for me. And so okay, made me sit down. Don't yell at me. And then I took him to another room. And I walk in, and then I'm getting really heavy, and I'm feeling really attacked. And I go, don't go there. And I'm trying to protect myself, and I'm holding myself. I look like a little kid who has to go pee or something. Oh. And I'm like holding myself down there, and I'm very trance state by now. And he goes, well, I go, being attacked. He goes, well, where are you being attacked? And that's when I was like, how do you say this? I mean, I'm aware enough to know that I'm on TV and you can't say those body parts. And I'm like, lady parts, female parts. I don't know. I had no idea, but a woman who lived there, a lady who used to feed the birds. She had been raped and murdered in that room. So that every room you walk in, it's like, holy. Jeez. They're going to renovate it though. I hope they turn. I hope they keep it a haunted hotel. It'll be great. If they try to make it anything else, it's like you would need 900 shamans, healers, witches, everything to clear the house, and I still don't know that it would.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine just how like ingrained that just must be in the ground. It's just it's seeped.
I think there is stuff in the ground under it. And you named it when you said drug use, because the darkest places I've ever been, the places that are hard to clear, we've done some episodes like that, are places that have had, not like I smoke a joint, but severe, deep, heavy drug use and addiction problems. Brings in the dark stuff, brings in the really dark stuff that you can't get rid of. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. Ross has a really good question for you. He says, what made Patti want to write her new book, and why was the topic important to her?
Thank you, Ross. I wanted to write this book because I got tired of saying the same thing. No, again, like I said at the beginning, I just see people, we are these amazing beings. We are so powerful. We are divine beings, I believe, whatever you believe, and we have free will. That means we could do anything. We could do anything, but we give away our power. We're so afraid to take our power. Again, we'll give away our power to other people. And it's like, get it back and get in touch with nature. So that's what this is. Following moon cycles, what that will do, getting in touch with, it's not all woo-woo by any means. It's got witchcraft, it's got elemental magic, but it's not like, let's go talk to butterflies. No, it's just do this and you feel better. So, but I wrote it because, again, I saw the same thing, and I just, for people who can't come see me, I can't see the whole world. And again, tips, tricks to create your happy life. I'm happy. I was not happy my whole life. What this came out of really is I was a regular normal kid who saw ghosts, and at 15, I started getting health problems, and they were female health problems. And they discovered this drug that they had given to women in the 50s, 60s, and 70s to pregnant women. They thought was like a vitamin or some DES, not the thalidomide, not the flipper babies, but DES babies. So I was diagnosed one of those. When I hit puberty, I didn't hit puberty, and everything went wrong. So I became a victim. Like, oh, is it a big pharma victim, or my poor mom took this drug, and everything wrong that you could imagine. Does she have lupus? We don't know. Fibromyalgia? I don't know. No periods, hot flashes. I had menopause at 15. So by the time I was 30, I was a victim between 15 and 30. So by the time I was 30, I had this beautiful doctor I had. She goes, okay, Patti, you have a brain tumor because your hormones don't work, and it's pushing on you, causing blindness in your eye. You have 5 fractures in your back. So you have osteoporosis so bad, you have the bones of an 80-year-old now at 30, and you have all those cancer things that DES get if you turns into cancer. So if you even make it to 50, which you probably won't make it to 50, if you make it to 50, you'll be in a wheelchair because of all your back problems. And I was a dancer, and I was like, and it just hit me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy into this. I believe in magic. I'm a witch. I see magic all the time. And I just decided not to buy into that, any of it. Every symptom went away. I've not been sick in decades. I don't get sick. So I don't. All the weird rashes she would get, the tumor, the blindness, gone. So at 50, instead of being dead or in a wheelchair, I used my magic, positive magic, and I beat like 80,000 people to get on the world's largest obstacle course, Wipeout. That TV show a couple of years back.
Yes, I remember
the big
that.
balls. I did the big balls, those big red balls.
You did?
I did. And again, it was like they tell you, the first thing they tell you, that you got here, you beat 100,000 people to get here. And it was, oh my gosh, you get there and you go, oh, is it like a 900-foot drop into water and big things that hit you? Oh. Hardest, scariest, painfulest, coldest thing I ever did, but most empowering because I'm like, no, I am not dead. I am not in a wheelchair. I had to go through physical tests. I had to go through mental tests to get there. So we are powerful beings, and that's exactly what I did it for. And now I work with people on that. So I'm not just sitting here doing a tarot reading. It's like, take your damn life back. You guys, and I work with people all the time, get rid of horrible chronic things. I'm not a healer. You're a healer. We are healers. That's it. You don't need religion. You don't need anything. We are human spirit.
That is beautiful.
Anyway, so that's why I
will
wrote the
say
book.
that.
And then I made it really simple. So you could like read it in 1 or 2 nights. And then you could go, I need, home and space clearing, how to clear your house, whether it's ghosts or just anger and crankiness or illness. That's it. Oh, that's why I wrote it. Good question. Thank you, Ross. I didn't mean to go into a whole diatribe about my health. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Not at all.
But that's how I start.
They hear about mine too. So
okay, good.
And I can say I haven't had as severe as what it sounds like for you, but I've had a lot of health problems for a big chunk of my life, and I have a lot of missing organs because of it too. So,
really? Well, you ready to get rid of the health problems? I'll send you my book. Oh, yeah. Again, not that there's a bunch of stuff in my book about that, but it's easy as you allow it to be.
It sounds very. I like the sound of it. It sounds very inspiring, and your story is inspiring, and it's beautiful in a way too, because you did just that. You took back. You're like, no, screw that. I'm not gonna let all this define me and run my life for me. You know, this is my life, and I'm gonna run it the way I want to. And I love that. I absolutely love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm no smarter, better, stronger than anybody else. We all have it.
Let's see. Ross has a follow-up question, if you don't mind. Real quick, he also says that I guess there's a documentary for the Cecil Hotel on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. No, it's on Discovery. Oh, yeah, maybe there is a Netflix one. The one I did is just on Discovery Plus. It's a 2-hour ghost adventure special. It's out now on Discovery Plus. It's the new streaming service. It's all 16 Discovery channels. It's $4.99 a month, but it's really good. You can watch every show of every Animal Planet, History Channel, Food Network, Travel Channel, all at one. But there is another Cecil Hotel documentary out now. Maybe that's the one on Netflix, but the one we just shot is on Discovery Plus.
And you said that one's out now?
It's out now. It's Ghost Adventures 2-hour special, the Cecil Hotel. And you can get it if you're not sure about the thing. You can get it free for 7 days. And if anybody who has Verizon, you can get it free for 6 months or a year. Just saying.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Laisha Snowden says, "Hey, how y'all doing? Good. Thanks for joining us." And I didn't pre-read this next question. We're not doing readings tonight. We're just answering some questions and talking and getting to know each other. I'm sure that they could. Do you do readings, like private readings with people if they contact you like
every day?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I do like this. I do like Zoom like that. I used to would do live. I have people all over the world, so not everybody is live. But yeah, I do private readings, and I also do kind of crazy things. Like for people who can't come to readings, I do a thing on Facebook. I call it my 3-ring circus on the live paranormal page on Facebook. I do like free readings for an hour. I don't finish a sentence. It's like I get it, but they get something out of it. I don't know what. But yeah, I do read it. PattiNegri.com. You'll find me more than you ever want to know.
Yeah, and just to remind everybody, for those of you who jumped in late, if you go in the description, you will find all of Patti's links in the description for her IMDb, for her book, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. So wherever you guys are at, she's there. You guys can check her out. Yeah. Oh, and I had it in my mind. Dang it. There was something I wanted to bring back up. Damn it.
You said Ross had another question or a follow-up question?
Oh, forget Ross. I'm just kidding.
Forget Ross. You had your question.
No, I know Ross, so I could say that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Ross's follow-up question. I love you, Ross. And he says, last one. What's the biggest difference between the scary things in this world and the next world? That's pretty good. Interesting question.
Good question. This world's scarier. I think this world can be scarier. And not that there isn't dark on the other side. There certainly is. The biggest difference between the scary? Well, I think it depends on what I travel to the other side. What I call it lifting the veil. You cross the other side of the broom, and I've lived there. But I firmly believe it's when they get messed up is when that's what's the biggest difference when it goes awry. I firmly believe that this is our realm of existence. Our three-dimensional, this gravity, living people on the earth. This is our realm. And we actually are in charge here of that other world too, when they come into our world. But people don't know that. So they, again, give away their power. When you see the overly possessed people, unless you know what you're doing, they've allowed that to happen somehow, or they've drawn it in being really anger, that will feed a negative spirit. Fearful, that will feed a negative spirit. If your spirit comes in and it feels good, talk to it. If it feels bad, say get out. In the name of whatever you believe in the name of your religion or God, in the name of your cat, in the name of your Louboutin shoes. Guess what? It works. It works. Unless there's heavy drugs or heavy addiction or a severe mental imbalance. This is our world. But the scary part, again, is I think if them coming over here and us losing control of it, or us going over there, I've never gone to over there to know what that is. But I think demons get way too much credit. There's ghosts. There's everything I've experienced. There's ghosts, which are people. They were living and now they're dead and they're ghosts. They're spirits. Most of them are crossed over and they're fine. They're not like the shades you hear about, the almost zombie-like that are walking through. You do get those. Those are the ones that often they died unexpectedly, or violently, or car crash, and they haven't figured out. Those are the ones literally you cross over. Go to the light, Carolyn. Go to the light, and you do, and they can. The residual haunting, those aren't scary. That's the one that's just like Memorex. It's video. They don't interact with you. You don't interact with them. The poor lady in white doesn't really have to walk across the balcony every hour. It's just that's not scary. That's just like residual. The everything else realm, that things that were never human on the other side, that's where it can get scary, because that's getting into the elemental kingdom. Fairies, angels, demons, all the things that, whatever you choose to believe, aliens, whatever that is, though that goes deeper and darker than what we know it is. I think, again, I haven't been there. I've had them come here. I've viewed through there. I can look through the veil. I've never stepped into it. So that's a really good question. But I think the scary part is when you're on the wrong side and you don't know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, if you know how to navigate, it's like dive into the deep end of a pool, know how to swim. When I walk into the Black Dahlia house or whatever, Cecil Hotel, I know how to swim. That people get in trouble when you don't know what you're doing. You open the door and you let in these dark, scary things. So that's when our world gets scarier. And our people are, because humans, we're a little bit flawed.
A little bit.
Yeah.
No, when you say that you haven't been over there, do you mean like you haven't died yet and gone over there, or is there an actual way you can get there? Okay. Okay.
No, I do journey work. I've been leaving my body since I was a kid too. My mom used to say, well, again, I'm 5 or 6 or whatever. She's like, oh, we're going to meet the new neighbors tomorrow. I'm like, I was there yesterday. She's like, you were not there yesterday. I was there. And I'd say the wallpaper is blue and there's stripes in this room. And I've been astral traveling, which is, I guess, out of that realm, but I've not gone through where I go through a portal literally into that space. That's, I guess, the people who have died and come back. And most of them think that's good if they're going into those heavens. But what was the question again? Oh, wait, I lost the question.
Damn it, I'm contagious.
I do this all the time. No, I had a really good answer for the question. I can't remember. I was going to go there next.
What I meant by, excuse me, being able to go to
the other side.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Again, like if I'm doing a seance, which is one of the things, again, I've been doing I literally lift that veil. I work elementally, so I call in that. Mine are very spiritualist style, Victorian style, just because I'm old school with it. And you lift the veil. So then everybody at your table is more psychic, is more, now I'm not just the medium. Now, Joe, you're the medium too. And you're the medium and you could see and smell and taste and hear. And then I shut it again. But that's peeking through. We lift the veil and they can come into us. So I don't know. That to me, that's very like Matrix. If we really go there, or people who've really died and come back. So I don't know. That's a good question. You've got a good audience. They have good questions.
I know. It's because I have a great guest tonight. That's why. Usually I'm fun talking. I'm sitting here like, okay, guys, I talk so fast that I ran out of everything to say in the first 7 minutes.
I talk fast too, but I don't ever run out of things today. They have to go shush.
I know. I was going to say, you have so much to talk about. It's amazing. I love it. Oh, well, I have another question for you from Dexter again. He says, this question is for Patti. Have you ever had experiences involving hypnosis?
Yeah. Hypnosis is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's a different brainwave state. And I think when I do journey work with people, if we're going to go do a past life regression, if we're going to go do Akashic records, again, I'm not real woo, but we go there together. I get them in I'm not a licensed hypnotist. I get them in a hypnotic state, but because I'm the medium, we go there together. I will see what they're seeing, which a hypnotist probably wouldn't understand. Normally it's like, ooh, and what is there on the right side of you? Pick down, it's shiny things. See, and we're seeing it together, but they actually are in a bit of a hypnosis state because you want a different brainwave. But I myself, and maybe why I'm a really good medium, is I'm super susceptible to being hypnotized. I could be hypnotized. I've never done one of those shows like those old school ones, like Walk Like a Chicken, where they make you do silly things. But I did do a couple TV shows a couple years ago, and they tested you how much you get hypnotized by what you do. And we did some really interesting, it was kind of like a science channel or a history channel or whatever. So I remember they did this one that we went in to go watch a movie. They brought us into a movie. Again, I'm doing it hindsight now. And they hypnotized us and they told us what kind of movie we watched and everything. And then they brought in, and then we sat there, and then they brought another group of people in, and then they had us all leave. And then they asked us how the movie was like. And all of us said exactly what the movie. I laughed so hard. We didn't see a movie. We didn't see a movie. We didn't know that. And they had like the reviewer tell me, I'm like, it was whatever. I'm seeing it on TV now. I'm like, it was so funny. What was funny about it? I don't know, but it was so funny. And yeah. And the other people who were brought in late were going, what? They're looking at us like it wasn't a movie, but it was really funny. And you see everybody else trying to explain this, like when you're trying to explain a dream, you can't really remember. It was really cool. It was really great. So then they brought me in for another episode. We were at Hollywood Highland, which is a big shopping center in the middle of Hollywood. I can't remember what we did, but it was something with the crowd. Oh yeah. It was like an artist, but like a street artist who's supposed to sell beautiful art. And I think I was the not so hip. I was hypnotized different. And the person I was with, they put me with, said, whatever you're seeing drawn is the most beautiful art you've ever seen. And you want to buy it, you have to buy it. And they had a person draw like a stick figure. And that person's going, oh my God, this is so pretty. And I'm like, it's a stick figure. So I forget whatever they hit but I love hypnosis. I love neurology. I love science. I love the mind. My grandfather was this big famous psychoanalyst, hypnotist, philosopher, Patti Negri, hung with the Carl Sagans and Isaac Asimovs and Steve Allens and Norman Lears, and very academic and a practically evangelical atheist. He wrote books on religion and sex and all this stuff from it's all bullshit phase. But I read his books now, and we both study religion. We both do everything, but from opposite doors. But I read his books now, like I was saying in the beginning, going, oh, Grandpa, you don't believe so. It's different. If you take it down to energy, if you take it into through lines, you just use different words. You use science words and you use academic words, or somebody else will use religion words. Somebody else will use pagan words, and somebody else will use his words aren't that different.
I can see that. Yeah, I've kind of thought about that too. Because I do another podcast with a co-host every week, and we do like the paranormal, true crime, the occult, UFOs, like just all the other stuff besides horror. And I had questioned that at one point too. I was like, how is it that like, this religion will shun another religion, but they basically do the same thing? Like for witchcraft, for example, and maybe I guess you can throw, let's say Catholicism. They light candles and they pray, they hold things, they hold little beads that they rub and they pray on and, put their intent in, if you will. And witchcraft kind of does the same thing, but I know in some practices that there's deities or gods or whatever it is that you may focus on, I guess, if you will.
Yeah,
I don't mean, I'm probably butchering the shit out of this, but
no, you're right. It's all very similar. Catholicism is so close to paganism because they came in after and they tried to match in the frankincense, the myrrh, the censers.
Yep.
That's all stuff people have been doing for way before the Christian church took it over. Even the holidays. I mean, Christmas, Yule has pine trees have nothing to do with Jesus in the desert. It would be a cactus or a palm tree. That's the pagan. Easter, Ostara, has nothing to do with bunnies and fertility. That's the pagan. Fertility Spring Festival. Again, it all goes back to farming. So again, if you just, that's one of those silly human flaw things, though.
Yeah.
But you're right and I'm wrong. But the best to me, philosophy almost goes back to ancient Sumerians. Again, okay, are we Anunnakis? Are we the Nephilim? I don't know, but their belief system was, or part of the down there is, you go to the heaven where you live, which means if you're in Iran, you go to Iran heaven. If you're in Chicago, to Chicago, or if you're a Catholic, you would go to those pearly gates. If you believe in reincarnation, you go to, which I think is the closest to real, which I think is the closest to the Matrix. Again, I think we're going to create where we go because I've been talking to spirits my whole life and they don't have time and they don't have space and they could do all these amazing things. It's pretty cool. So I think it's very Matrix.
Oh, that is so cool. I never want to watch so much. I watch so much stuff. It's ridiculous. It's just, yeah. I watch a lot of stuff on the religions and aliens, and not that I believe every single thing I see, because I know some of it is just, it's fabricated or it's exaggerated or completely made up altogether. So you really got to keep looking in there to make sure you're finding consistent shit, I guess.
Which is great, because that's when you start trusting yourself. Some things, again, when people gave away their power, and religion does a lot of this, it's right because we say so, it's wrong because we say so. I don't want a religion that I want it's right because I know it's right and I know it's wrong. Not because somebody else told me. But yeah, but that's good that you study everything and go, this is true or this isn't true for me. It may be true for the other guy. So
yeah, because
I just did a thing on Gaia.com. It was the nicest little thing. They're calling them micro moments, micro minute, micro something, and it was on magic, paganism, magic, and it's like 11-12 minutes long. Explained it so well. I'm part of it, and these just different leaders from different things, and Gaia's doing some really great stuff, and they've got the crazy stuff too, but
they do. I was confused on that when it first came out because I saw it on, I want to say, social media as like an advertisement, and it was like coming off like it was this like new exciting type National Geographic's astrology, astro kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, dope. And then I'm watching all my crazy random ass YouTube stuff, and then all these like anonymous, not that I believe everything anonymous says, but I could see some stuff in there that makes some sense. Just saying a little bit. And they started coming up with all these Gaia videos, but they're posted on the anonymous channel, but they have the little brand at the bottom. I was like, that's interesting. Like, I didn't see them going that direction.
Yeah. Well, again, I think they're all again, you make your own decision. They're pretty cool people. I've done just a couple things there with George Norrie, actually. I just shot another episode of his Beyond Belief, but they're putting together these little, make you think. And again, there's nothing better to do than think. Believe it, don't believe it, but make you think.
Yeah. Think for at least think. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what's getting a lot of us in trouble is the fact that we're not thinking or we're not looking into things for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we're just taking everything how it is laid in front of us, whether it's true or not, just because, the interweb says it or a celebrity says it or whatever. It's like, that's not always true. You guys need to think for yourselves. You're going to be drinking Kool-Aid soon.
Yep.
I got, let's see. Ross says, tell Patti she's awesome, and I hope I give off a good vibe.
Hey, hope what?
Ross, he says, tell Patti she's awesome, and I hope I give off a good vibe. You're here,
Yes, you do.
You're
You had great questions. I've even said that. Yes, you have very good vibe, Ross. Very good vibe and good question.
I think we got time for one more quick question because we are getting pretty close to the hour mark here.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, one last question. This one's from Austin. It says, "Hey Patti, it's Austin. You talk about peeking through the veil. Could you explain if you want?" I know you said something about it earlier, but I think he kind of jumped in late. So
yeah. Again, I've been doing it since that little seance in my hallway when I was 7 years old, and came up with a chant and sounds and things to lift that veil. And it is like a net coming up that you could see the other side. You could do it lots of ways. You could do it Native Americans running around the campfire. You could do it Pentecostals rolling around the floor in a church. Lots of ways to do different things to separate the world. But I do it. I do seances all the time that anybody can come to, really inexpensive. Again, right now they're Zoom, but spirits love Zoom. It's weird, more than I do. I was thinking, how can I, I've got 25 people on a Zoom screen, and they're in Zimbabwe, and they're in the UK, and they're in Chicago, and they're here. And how am I going to connect with spirits? Spirits like energy. This works perfectly. I've gotten iPhone codes. I've gotten names. I've got everything. It's just like we're sitting around my dining room table, no matter where we are.
wow. You see, I was thinking about that question earlier, but since you brought that up, I didn't have to ask it. Because, have you seen that movie? It came out like right after we all just really started shutting down last year. It was where they do like a seance through the Zoom.
I haven't. I want to see it. The seance movie. Is it good?
I forget what the name.
I think it was called Seance. There's one. And they shot it like, I think it was called Seance. I've seen a bunch of things about it. And for probably what it was and how it was shot. It's pretty, in the middle of COVID.
It was okay, but I think if people had the chance to talk to someone like you or watch things with someone like you on it, then it would be more believable and it would be a better movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was always being like, now how the hell is a ghost going to jump from one internet connection to the other? What if it's a shitty connection? Like, how's that's not going to work. Like, and how do they go through the screen? But the way you kind of explain some things, it's like, okay, that makes sense. I can see that. So okay. I think
again, electricity is involved, because if you're sitting there with your cell phone, it's got a power source, and your laptop. Mm-hmm. That's why if you go into an old-fashioned haunted house, the lights flash on and off. They use it. Yeah. It's a conduit. So now all of a sudden we're bouncing off satellites and whatever, and we're talking to each other from all over the world. It just works. I don't know why. It's cool.
It makes sense to me. I mean, we have electrical in us, yeah. So we have our. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I dig it. See, if I would have listened to you before this movie came out and then watched the movie, it probably would have been a way better movie.
Right. I'll have to watch it and tell you, that's not right. That's right. But I try not to do that. I just try to get involved in whatever. If I want to analyze it, then you don't like the movie. It's like, okay, they don't know what they're doing, but okay. They got all wrong, but okay. That's not how you do a seance. Okay.
Like, let me do that movie. I'll do it better. I'll make people burst into flames.
Right. I got better special effects without any special effects.
Like, this was an awesome low budget movie. You don't even know. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we are at the hour mark right now. Thank you guys for joining us. And thank you so much, Patti. Do you have any last words for our viewers tonight?
I think you guys live life to its fullest. We're pretty amazing beings, and magic is everywhere. You just got to look sometimes.
And you guys make sure you check out the links in the description for Patti. For, like I said earlier, wherever you're at, she's there. You can check her out. If you guys want to check out her book, the link's in the description as well. And yeah, definitely check this out. You're on Ghost Adventures. You've been in movies. You've been on TV shows. You're Busy lady. I love it. I love it so much.
I've been here a long
Hardworking
time. I'm a
lady.
Hollywood girl, so thank you. Thank you you're a great host. Thank you very much. And you have great listeners. So this is fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy listening more than talking, believe it or not. Okay, you guys, I will be back tomorrow night with open topics. So join me, same time, same channel. Have a good night, creepy bastards, and I hope you have nightmares about me. Mwah.
Yeah. Bye.